Let's go ahead and talk about file timestamps. Every file on Linux has three different timestamps: the access timestamp, or ATime, the modified timestamp, or MTime, and the changed timestamp, or CTime. Linux timestamps hold an integer number rather than a date and time. This number is the number of seconds since the unique epoch, which was midnight on January 1st, 1970 UTC. When Linux needs to display the date, it translates that number of seconds into a date and time. This makes it easier for humans to understand. To view these timestamps, use the stat command or ls with options. The stat command is showing statistics about the file, including the timestamps. You can see the access time, the modification time, and the changed time. ext4, which is the default file system on most Linux distributions, also allocates space for a file creation timestamp in its internal file system structures. But in most cases, this hasn't been implemented yet. In this example, file creation or birth hasn't been implemented yet. That's why we see a hyphen instead. Let's discuss what these timestamps mean. The access time, or ATime, is the last time the file was read. This means the time when someone used a program to display the contents of the file. It doesn't matter if the file contents were changed or not. The modification timestamp, or MTime, signifies the last time the contents of the file was modified. If someone used a text editor and changed something inside the file, MTime was updated. And finally, the change time, or CTime, is the time when some metadata related to the file, not the file contents, was changed. For example, changing the file's permissions or the file's owner will update the changed time. To see the timestamps with the ls command, run ls-l or ls-lt if you want to see the modification time, ls-lu to see the access time, and ls-lc to see the change time. Sometimes the ls-l is not displaying the timestamp with a maximum precision. In this example, we only know the month, the day, the hour, and the minute when the file was last modified. To see the entire timestamp that was saved, this means including the year and the second, use the --full -time option, like this: ls-l, --full -time, and etc, or the directory. And we are seeing the entire timestamp. Let's talk about changing the file timestamp. This is useful when you want a backup program to include or exclude some files, or when you simply do not want other users to know that you've read or modified the file. You can change the timestamp on a file using the touch command. The touch command is also used to create an empty file. So, if the file, which is the argument of the touch command, does not exist, touch will create it. But if it exists, touch will update the file timestamps to the computer's current time. This is the contents of the current directory, which is the user's home directory. And if I run touch linux.txt, it will create the file, since the file does not already exist. The file is there. Let's see the modification time. And stat linux.txt. These are the timestamps of the file. By the way, in Linux it's not recommended to use spaces or other special characters in file names. Separate multiple words with an underscore or a hyphen. But if for some reason you want to include a white space in the file name, then enclose the file name in a pair of double quotes, like this. The file name contains a white space. Now if I run touch linux.txt again, it will update all 3 timestamps of the file to the current time. Touch linux.txt and stat linux.txt. These are the new timestamps. Take a look, they are updated. (14:29) and now it's 14:30. If you want to change only the access time to the current time, use the -a option. So touch -a linux.txt and stat linux.txt. Note that the access time was updated to the current time. The changed time was also updated because metadata information of the file, like a-time, was changed. This is normal behavior. To change the modification timestamp, you can use the -m option. Touch -m and the file. And stat linux.txt. See how both mtime and change time were modified. If you want to set the access time or modification time to a specific time, not the system current time, you can use the -t option and a date time. Let's change the modification time to a date in the past. Touch -m and the date. Let's say 2018, 12 the month, 30 the day, the hour, the minute, and that the second. And the file. The format of the new timestamp is year, month, day, hour, and that seconds. Sorry, I've forgotten the -t option. This is very important. And the modification time was changed. If you want to change simultaneously both access and modification time, use the -d option like this. Touch -d, between double quotes a date, in this format, and the file. Both a-time and m-time were changed. Note that -d and -t options accept different time date formats. You can also use the -r option if you want to set the timestamps of one file to the timestamp values of another one. For example, I'm creating a new file, ubuntu.txt. These are its timestamps, and I'm setting the timestamps of linux.txt to the timestamps of ubuntu.txt. So touch linux.txt -r ubuntu.txt. Ubuntu.txt is the reference file, and stat linux.txt. They have the same timestamps. Note that it's not possible to modify only the changed time to a specific timestamp, but I'll tell you a trick. If you want to modify only the changed time to a specific time, then you set the system date and time to the desired changed time, run the command touch and the name of the file to change all the timestamps to the system current time, and then change back the access and modification times to the initial values. Changed time will remain at the desired value. You can do this as homework. Use the date command to both display the current date and time and set the system date and time. This is the date and time using the local time zone, East European time, and date -u is displaying the date and time using the coordinated universal time or UTC. Check Xmam page to see the format of the new date if you want to change it.